My God, when you just buy random things that you just saw online that were in the sale, but boy was I wrong. So welcome back everyone to another video. In today's video it's something a little bit different. I don't think I've actually ever done anything like this before, and to be honest I did think to myself, do I really want people to be like nosy and know kind of like what fragrances are on my wish list? But I thought it'd be fun. This is my wish list for 2025. Granted, I won't be able to buy all of these fragrances because some of them are very expensive. Having said that though, I don't really prioritize any. I kind of get them if I can and if I've saved up for it. So I've kind of chosen 10 different fragrances. Obviously my wish list is far longer than this, but these are like, I guess my top 10 that I want at the minute. These aren't ranked in any specific order by the way, so we'll just jump straight into the video. I always have a notes on my phone in terms of all of the fragrances that I have on my wish list. There are more than 10 by the way, but these I guess are like my most prioritized fragrances. So the first one that I have is God and Moon, and this one is from Maison de la Sea. It's a Singaporean brand, and I actually came across it in Les Senteuses in one of my vlogs. This is going back like more towards the end of last year, and I absolutely fell in love. In fact, one of you bought a 15ml version of it and you also agreed that it's an absolutely gorgeous fragrance. And what I love about it is maybe level of complexity with it. It's like slightly spicy, it's slightly boozy and gourmand. It also has coffee. From memory it has like some nutty accords in here as well, maybe like a hazelnut. It was just absolutely beautiful, like quite warm, nutty, cozy, and then also has that coffee essence in the base as well. So overall I just really loved the fragrance. I loved that it was a little bit more on the sweeter side. I do tend to enjoy a sweeter fragrance. Maybe that's a bit juvenile, but I just love a sweeter fragrance. I'm really hoping that at some point I'll be able to buy God and Moon from Maison de la Sea. And then moving on to a fragrance that I guess is kind of in the same vein. So it's a little bit nutty, it's a little bit more gourmand. This fragrance is very expensive, and to be honest with you, I'm really waiting for the right opportunity to buy it. I'm even thinking whether to buy it secondhand because I know there have been some eBay listings. The only thing is you have to have a good level of intuition because in a sense, like a lot of eBay listers, you don't know whether they're legit, you don't know whether the bottle is legit, so you have to be very careful. But this one is from Graf, which is the jewellery brand, and it's Lesedi number 4, so it's the 1 and then the V. This is a really gorgeous fragrance. It's predominantly quite nutty, so from memory I think it has almonds or some tonka in here, and it also has that coffee. So as you can see, there's kind of like a parallel between God and Moon and then Lesedi number 4. As I said, with it being a little bit more expensive, I either have to budget for this fragrance or, you know, potentially buy it secondhand. So if you guys have never tried it, I'll definitely give it a go, specifically for maybe even like the warmer weather. I would imagine with that coffee and the sweetness and the nuttiness, it might do actually really quite well in the warm weather. I might be wrong. When I first smelt it, it did smell a little bit more autumnal for me. But then increasingly I thought, well, I could maybe wear it in the warmer seasons as well. So that's Lesedi number 4 from Graf. Then sticking with the very expensive theme, I have one from Amouage, which I have never spoken about before. I absolutely love the original Honor from Amouage. As you guys know, I'm a really big fan of white florals, whether that's tuberose, jasmine, gardenia, orange blossom. I love all of them, let's be completely honest here, and I know a lot of you also love white florals as much as I do, and Honor is a really gorgeous fragrance. It's quite a rich white floral bouquet. It has some greenness in the top, but then that soon dissipates, and the Honor 43 is absolutely gorgeous. It almost has like a bit of a waxy nuance to it. It's almost like the white florals have been fermented a little bit. That's the best way that I can describe it. It's quite rich, a heavy white floral based fragrance, and I absolutely adore it. Again, it is definitely on the expensive side. As far as I'm aware, I think All Beauty has it for about £220, but again, it's like prioritizing, isn't it? When you have such a large list, wish list, you think to yourself, right, which ones do I want to get first? Because I tend to like not just buy fragrances on a whim anymore like that. I just like to start to budget and actually plan which fragrances I will buy. So if you guys are white floral fans and if you do like more of a richer floral based fragrance, then definitely try Honor 43 from Amouage, and that is on one of my lists. And then moving on to another white floral, a heavy tuberose type of fragrance, we have Quattro Pizzi from Xerjoff. My god, when I tried this, I thought it was really nice. I did really like Lavar de Sol as well, and you guys have probably seen me talk about that fragrance as well. Quattro Pizzi, and I've talked about it literally from the day that I smelt it. It really reminded me of Rouge Malachite. It almost has like a slight greenness and a very waxy tuberose. It's quite rich, it's decadent. And out of all of the tuberose fragrances that I've tried, this is one of the best. It also has a little bit of spice in it, a little bit of tobacco, maybe even some honey. I do get a little bit of the spice, but not too spicy. And the reason why I thought it was quite similar to Rouge Malachite, not only is tuberose prominent, but in Rouge Malachite you have that sage with the black pepper in the beginning, right? And that is quite similar to the Quattro Pizzi in my opinion. So at first I thought to myself, would it be redundant having both in my collection? But then I really thought about it and I said, no, actually, I'd really like to have it. And yeah, I absolutely adore it. So if you've never tried Quattro Pizzi, definitely give that one a go. Then moving on to a little bit more of an unusual fragrance. In fact, I actually featured it in my best fragrance releases of 2024 video. It's Delices Des Bois from Veronique Gabai. Now, as you guys know, I absolutely love Ready for Rosé. In fact, it's probably one of my most complimented fragrances, considering I only have the travel spray. And to be honest, maybe on my wish list, I will want to have a full bottle of Ready for Rosé. If you've noticed, I haven't actually included any that I currently have, like 10ml or travel sizes of them. So for example, Vanille des Afriques from Ormond Jane, I have that 10ml travel size, and I haven't included it in this video because I think it's quite obvious maybe that I will, you know, buy the full bottle at some point. But Delices Des Bois is a really beautiful fragrance. It's a predominantly fig heavy fragrance. And what I really loved about it, it's very sweet. It's almost leaning quite fruity sweet. You know, I tend to find a lot of fig fragrances, they often go a little bit dry, whereas this one has a lot of sandalwood, some vanilla, some other floral supporting notes as well. So overall, it's quite a rich, juicy, tart fig fragrance. It's absolutely gorgeous and I cannot wait to buy the bottle. Granted, again, it's a little bit more expensive, so I have to think to myself, right, when am I going to buy it? Am I going to prioritize it more than another fragrance? So if you've never tried Delices Des Bois and if you like a fig fragrance, definitely give it a go. Talking about other sweeter fragrances, I also tried one in Fortnum and Mason not too long ago. Again, it was in one of my vlogs and I was very surprised by this fragrance. It's from a house that I'd never tried before, or I'd heard about but I'd never tried properly. It's Place Delices, if I remember correctly, and this fragrance is called Vanille En Fleur. As you can probably tell from the name of it, it's a heavy vanilla fragrance, but it also has like a lot of yellow florals in this as well. So from memory, it has like ylang ylang and mimosa. It's not like the type of yellow florals where it goes quite sunscreeny in my opinion. It's a very smooth vanilla fragrance with like that supporting floral kind of aspect to it. It's really gorgeous. And what I loved about the vanilla, it wasn't like your synthetic vanillin type of fragrance. You know, sometimes vanillin or vanilla fragrances can go a little bit synthetic in my opinion, whereas this one felt like more of a Vanille des Afriques where you have like that bourbon Madagascan vanilla, almost like vanilla pods as opposed to anything else like vanilla extract. And wow, this is a beautiful fragrance. And so if you've never tried it before and if you are into more heavy vanilla fragrances, then definitely try Vanille En Fleur from Place Delices. My god, I really didn't realize how long this list would be. I thought that I would be able to run through it quite quickly, but boy was I wrong. So the next fragrance is Moonlight in Chiangmai from Desita. I adore Desita. I think they have some really amazing fragrances, and Moonlight in Chiangmai is quite peculiar. It has like a lot of freshness to it. It's a floral based fragrance but almost has like a lemony yuzu type of note in it, and I think a lot of people I found that they compared it to like cleaning products, you know, when it has that lemony type of smell, but honestly I don't think it's that synthetic, neither do I think it's that abrasive. I think it's a really almost like a sparkling champagne like type of fragrance, similar to that Ready for Rosé from Veronique Gabai. It almost has that champagne, prosecco, rosé type of feeling to it. It's really, really gorgeous, and particularly for maybe the summer or the spring when you do want to smell fresher, I think this is a really beautiful fragrance. And yeah, that is one of the other ones on the list. So now moving on to more heavier type of fragrances, I have an oud based fragrance here. Again, it's really expensive, so I just, you know, I always have like a mix of less expensive and very expensive fragrances, and I always think to myself, do I save for the very expensive ones or do I just get the cheaper ones? You're always in that predicament where you're like, right, which one do I go for? So this one is from Cartier. As you all know, I adore Oud and Santal, Oud and Amber. In fact, all of the Oud line from Mathilde Laurent is just, she is a creative genius, and that line is probably my favorite out of all the designer exclusives or luxury designer fragrances that are out there. Oud Radieux for me, I've wanted for so long, actually years I've wanted it, and I don't know why, but I've always pushed it to the back of the pile. It is a really beautiful ginger oud fragrance. It also has some citruses in the top, so what I love about this is you have like the yin and yang, where you have, you know, the richer oud that's a bit smoky, and then on top of that you have like this really vibrant ginger citrus type of opening, and again the citruses mixed with the ginger makes it almost slightly candied and a little bit sparkling in the top as well. Obviously I'd always recommend to try Oud and Santal or Oud and Amber, but if you do want something a bit fresher, then Oud Radieux is one for you, so that's another one on my list. Sticking with the oud theme, I have another one, and this is from the house of Ormond Jane. By the way, I've already bought another Ormond Jane fragrance, and this time it was actually for my partner for his birthday, so I won't say in this video what I got for him. I will be doing a separate men's fragrance video talking about sophisticated fragrances, and within that I will feature the one that I bought for him for his birthday. But this one is called Nawab of Oudh, and my god, this is a masterpiece. I know a lot of guys really love this fragrance. I actually love it on myself as well. I think maybe it might be a bit more masculine leaning with it being a heavy oudy spicy type of fragrance, but to be honest with you, I also get a lot of fruitiness in this, and the way I've described it before, it almost smells like if you've ever had hookah or shisha, and you know when you have that vapor in the air, and it almost has like a slight fruitiness but smokiness. That is kind of what I'm getting from this. It might even have tobacco or something smoky in this alongside the oud, but what I love about it is even though it is a heavy oud fragrance, it still has that fruitiness, that sweetness, and that's why I do think it's quite wearable. I think the balance in this fragrance is top level. I haven't tried many oud fragrances as good as this one, and I know it's a cult favorite from Ormond Jane, so if I do get the chance, I'll definitely buy myself a bottle. So that is Nawab of Oudh. Right, we have 3 more to go. So the next one that I have is one that I will be buying very, very soon. I meant to buy it actually at Black Friday, but for some reason I just ended up buying other things instead. You know how Black Friday is always like you always have a budget in terms of what you're willing to spend, and then in the end you just buy random things that you just saw online that were in the sale. So anyway, this is one that I will buy quite soon, I would imagine, and it's Iris de Syracuse. I never know how to pronounce it, by the way, from Boucheron, and I've talked about Boucheron many times. They have some really gorgeous fragrances like Ambre d'Alexander, Oud Carthage, there's so many different ones that you can pick from, but what I love about Iris de Syracuse, it has pear in the top. Obviously it has that iris in there as well, but it's quite a lipsticky powdery iris, and then it has a lot of woodiness in the base. Almost has like a sandalwood musky type of base to me. It's a really beautifully balanced fragrance, and in fact it's a really great price. For 125ml, you can get it for about £80, which is just ridiculous. I mean, as a signature scent, that will last you so long, and with the, you know, the size of my collection as well, I'd imagine that I would actually keep that for many years. So I'm really looking forward to adding that to my collection. And for any of you who are also lovers of iris, which I know a lot of you are, I think you'd absolutely adore this fragrance. It's fizzy, it's sweet, it's lipsticky, it's woody. It's everything you can imagine in a fragrance. I adore it. So if you've never tried it before, definitely try Iris de Syracuse from Boucheron. Okay, I promise we're getting there soon. So the next fragrance that I have here is from Clún Cín, which is an Irish brand, and it's a very niche Irish brand. Gosh, that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? They are a sustainable brand as well. I think their packaging is meant to be very sustainable. I think it's made from some type of recycled materials, and they are very environmentally conscious. But this one is called Castana, and my god, if you're a fan of nutty fragrances, specifically chestnut forward fragrances, this is gorgeous. It almost has a little bit of a lactonicness to it, if that's even a word. So growing up, we always used to peel chestnuts and then we'd dip them in milk. I know that sounds a little bit bizarre, but it's a really nice combination. And it almost has that milkiness that I used to have when I was younger. And the chestnut in here, it's like almost like a roasted chestnut. It's beautiful, it's nutty, it's warm, it's sweet. And then on top of that, you also have a lot of powderiness and muskiness in the base. So to me, it's a very almost like skin scent. It sits quite close to the skin in comparison to maybe other fragrances out there. But sometimes you don't really need a fragrance to project loads. Like, I don't really wear fragrances to get complimented, honestly. I just wear them because I absolutely adore them. And this one in particular, with it sitting a bit close to the skin, maybe might put some people off, but I think it's really gorgeous. And then when it settles, it just goes really beautiful, buttery, nutty, smooth. It's a really gorgeous fragrance, so I cannot wait to add this one to my collection. And I think in the autumn as well, when the weather gets cooler, I can't imagine how beautiful it will be. So that's Castana from Clún Cín. Right, so last but certainly not least, my god, I can't believe it, it doesn't feel like long maybe for you guys, but when I list so many fragrances, I really get tongue-tied. Maybe it's something that I just need to work on, but it's a very long list to me anyway, so I really hope that you guys have stuck through all of this time. So the last fragrance that I have is Shalimar Souffle Intense. Now, I know guys, I know this one is discontinued, and to be honest with you, I really like the other Souffle de Parfum. I think that's a really gorgeous fragrance, but something about the Souffle Intense, I can't really explain it. The best way that I can, maybe, it smells very, very rich, like lemon meringue pie that's maybe been burnt a little bit. Almost has like a little bit of a rubbery, fermented type of feeling to it. It's really rich, it's vanilla, it's citruses. As I said, it almost has like that milky lactonic type of vibe to it. But it's such a shame that they discontinue them. And I know that they've been going on for many, many years, by the way, and eventually they will discontinue them, whether that's the ingredients, whether, maybe not that many people are buying them. But even the Melissime ones, which I know are exclusives, I really get annoyed that they discontinue them. Like, I would love to have the Shalimar Melissime vanilla or the tonka one. The jasmine one didn't really blow me away as much, to be honest with you, but as I said, the Souffle Intense is a really beautiful fragrance, so if you can get your hands on it, I definitely recommend that you get that as soon as you can. Obviously the juice might go quite quickly with it being out for so many years. So if you've never tried it before, definitely try Shalimar Souffle Intense from Guerlain. So guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed. I feel like I've just been talking for the last half hour, maybe even 40 minutes. So I really hope that I can condense this video as best as I can. If you guys have a crazy wish list at the moment, please comment it down below. I'm very curious. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I will be uploading quite a bit, to be honest, like in the future. I've just had to take a little bit of a stint away because I've been quite busy, but I'm hoping in the next few weeks you'll have a lot of content, so keep tuned guys, and I'll catch you soon. Bye guys.